Africans are the direct descendants of the Anunnaki, just as Emperor Haile Selassie is the direct descendants of the Anunnaki through the lineage of King Solomon, King David, up until Adam, which is the first hybrid of Lord Ptah, aka Enki, which is the major god of Africa. Master scientist, master builder. He is the first god who ruled Africa. He is the father of Ra. Ra is not just an energy principle. Ra is a physical black man, firstborn of Lord Ptah, or aka Lord Enki. He has many names. All clans of Africa call him based on their languages. Some they call him Mungu. Some they call him many names I can mention. All African deities names based on the specific ethnicity. The major one you must just know is talking about Enki. So anyway, on that level, Tahuti, which is another son of Lord Ptah, who was assisting him in creating the humans with his half-sister, Ninma, who was given ownership of the land called Mount Sinai. Because that's where, after the floods, recorded floods, that is where the Anunnaki was. Their spaceports were built, and Ninma was the one in charge of those spaceports. So this science of semen retention, it comes from the Anunnaki who have, even now because they're still alive, access to advanced science. Science that the white people are using now today comes from the science of the Anunnaki. This reverse engineering, though they cannot engineer everything. But as you can see, as they are fiddling with the AI, which is mistakenly called artificial intelligence, but we know it's African intelligence or Anunnaki intelligence. That is the true meaning of AI. Because they're harvesting data from the black people of the world and using it as an algorithm for the AI. It's not. You can check this thing. Most of the knowledge, history, and everything of the AI predominantly comes from the African mind, but is programmed to behave like the European mind. Just as the Chinese are designing their own AI, which is programmed to have an Asian mind, but is using predominantly African mind data. You see? So they are creating their own humans. They are creating their own humans because they themselves were created by our primordial ancestors in the lab. That is the truth that all the secret societies have. They've been hiding, but just because now we're in the age of curious, things are coming out. So now they don't want us to know the science of semen retention, because if we black men start practicing semen retention, which is abstaining from sex, we will have a lot of energy to start recalibrating that energy to focus on things that actually matter, which is our black families and the rebuilding of Pan-Africanism, the one that Emperor Haile Selassie was actually championing. Paul was betrayed by the powers that be, so-called shadow government, using the governments that we know to topple his majesty. So even His Majesty was using this technology, because you check after Empress Mene 1967 was disappeared, Emperor Haile Selassie didn't have another woman. And I'm pretty much sure, with all due respect, he was not masturbating. I mean, he's the king of kings. So this technology, we need to write it down, preserve it, practice it. If we fail, at least make sure that the future generation is fully aware of this technology of semen retention, which is the ability to conserve your energy so that you can use it for another aspect, other than spending it to create energy. When we know that most of the times when you do have sexual intercourse, we do not create a new child, but instead it's mostly for pleasure. And now today is mostly used for money. So we see this problem, the Sodom Gomorrah theory, which is predominantly leading to the last days, where now the Anunnaki, who promised that they'll come back to save us as the black people from this paying our karmic debt. We can see that now these technologies, we need to have them because we need to get ready. Bob Marley, the prophet, greatest prophet we had as black people, said that stand up, get up, stand up for the last time, for the Babylon is about to fall. We know that Babylon obviously is the white elites, the powers that govern. So anyway, we're gonna continue to talk more on semen retention up until we reach the last point where I'll be going to. Give thanks to me.